Like every other Wednesday morning, it began with the sun peeking through the drapes. Those soft slants, the kind that give the impression that the room is warmer than it actually is. I woke up first, as usual, put on my hoodie, and headed to the sink, brushing my teeth in that half-awakened, habitual manner that people fall into after years of the same routine. The pattern was broken by my wife's phone lighting up and vibrating familiarly against the marble countertop. Without much thought, she had left it charging overnight, screen facing up. A message preview hovered at the top. "I can't wait to see you at the beach home. I miss having your skin against mine." I halted, like a little bomb about to explode. Toothbrush in hand, I just stood there, gazing at those words, trying to convince myself I had misread them. But they were so blatantly intimate, so undeniably personal, that I would have felt embarrassed if I hadn't felt betrayed first. I wanted to smash the phone, fling it across the room. But instead, I stood there with froth building in my mouth and something heavier than panic in my chest. A pressure in the corners of my heart where beats should be. You've probably experienced that odd, silent moment when something you always feared comes true. That was this moment. The sender's name? Simply M. At first, I assumed it was a commercial, message, maybe spam, maybe a dumb automated flirt, but no. Even the sleaziest spammers don't write like that. This wasn't marketing. This was flesh, skin, secrets. She had met someone during a time I thought she was working. Maybe during those girls' weekends I never questioned, because for me, trust wasn't just a word, it was how I loved. I didn't check the rest of the message. I just stood in our newly renovated bathroom, toothbrush dangling, not unlocking her phone. That sink. Jason built it with my own hands, the one she constantly boasted about to her friends. And there I was, realizing that while I was building, she had been tearing things down. I spat the toothpaste into the sink, rinsed my mouth, and splashed cold water onto my face. Then I looked into the mirror and saw a man who didn't know how long he'd been living with a stranger. Or maybe how long he'd been pretending not to. There were always signs. The late-night texts she'd laugh off. "It's just Mia," she'd say, waving me away, in that airy voice. The sudden business trips. The smell of cologne that wasn't mine. A beach house. Our beach house. And I had chalked it up to a crowded elevator or a coworker's hug. But rendezvous was the thread that stitched it all together. She was going to our beach house with her secret lover, the one I had paid for. Every single tile, every single window, every single memory. Before marriage, we lived in Sandport. Evenings there smelled like salt and driftwood. The ocean hummed, like a lullaby. I drove 4 hours every weekend to supervise those renovations. That house had my sweat in its walls. She had been there twice. Said it was too quiet. I remember thinking that was odd. She used to say she loved the peace. Maybe she didn't want peace anymore, or maybe she didn't want it with me. A few minutes later, she entered the room, robe on, hair loosely tied, smiling, always smiling. "Morning," she said. Life was just peachy. I didn't ask her about the message. Not yet. I put it in my pocket like a blade and waited. She kissed my cheek like she'd done it 1,000 times before. It didn't sting. It didn't burn. It just felt empty. Like someone imitating love out of habit, I went to work that day as usual. No yelling, no accusing, no crying. I needed clarity before I acted. I needed to know I wasn't going insane. Again. At the office, Jordan, my assistant, handed me a contract to review. For 30 minutes, I stared at it, unread. All I could think about was that message. "I miss your skin against mine." Nobody writes that in a casual text. Not unless... The worst part? This had been going on for a while. and I had no idea what I'd done to deserve it. Nobody's perfect, but I never lied. I never left. I showed up. I took her to visit her mother, cleared her credit card debt, changed jobs so we could live closer to her sister. After she gave birth to our second child, I kept giving, and by evening, she was giving herself to someone else. I couldn't ignore it. So while she was in the shower that night, I pretended to browse the news, sitting on the edge of the bed. I picked up her phone, waited for the moment. As she walked past, I gently pressed her finger to the sensor. It unlocked. The truth didn't come in a dramatic flood. It came in silence. In voice notes, messages, pictures. She hadn't made a single mistake, no hesitation, no fear of being caught. She was confident in my ignorance. That confidence is what hurt the most. But I wasn't ignorant anymore. I took screenshots, names, contact info. Then I saw something odd. The man, tall, always in a suit, Marcus Rayner. He tipped generously, a charmer. Then, another name, a woman, his wife, Aubrey. A note under her name. Not Belle, not me. Another victim. Just like, me? I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to smash anything. I had a better plan. It began with Aubrey. That night, I lay in bed beside Belle, wondering how many nights I had done exactly that. Unaware, blind, every breath she took, a lie. Every murmur in her sleep, a betrayal. At 3:17 a.m., I left the bed and sat in the living room, her phone in one hand, mine in the other. I didn't even know what I was doing. I just knew I had to find her. The other betrayed soul, Aubrey Rayner. She wasn't hard to find. Facebook, public profile, photos with Marcus, baking with her niece, strolling the beach, the same beach where Marcus and Belle were scheduled to meet. My hands trembled as I hovered over the message button. Not from fear, but from gravity. I wasn't just exposing Belle. I was about to dismantle another woman's world. But she had the right to know. She deserved to know. I began typing. Hello, Aubrey. I realize this is sudden. Please know, I'm not writing this to hurt you. I'm writing because, like you, I deserve the truth. My wife, Belle, and your husband, Marcus, have been seeing each other. They've planned a weekend together at my beach house, without your knowledge. I thought you should know before it happens. I'm sorry. I read it twice, signed my full name and hit send. Then I waited. My eyes burned. My chest was tight. And still, I waited at 6:12 a.m.